Animation looks impressive, but once you know the right moves, the process is actually pretty simple. Today, I'm going to walk you through one technique that powers 3 different animation styles. We'll start simple and build up. By the end of the video, you'll have a process and the confidence to roll out animations that level up anything, from your socials, campaigns, even presentations. Let's get moving. So many animations are built by repeating one surprisingly simple move, keyframing. Basically, you set a start position and an end position for each movement. Then, the animation fills in everything in between. In Canva, you can get there with one click. You select your keyframes, apply match and move, and it automatically animates the changes in between. Size, position, color, transparency, you name it. Once you get the process down, you can use it to create all kinds of animations. We've linked the working file in the video description so you can follow along. Or if you're here via Canva Design School, it's already part of your lesson. We'll start with a drag and drop animation. These are great for bringing a product launch or a UI demo to life. Today, we're launching a new collection. We'll create an animation that shows off your new lookbook images. As you can see, our cursor graphic drops the images into the crate one at a time. Here's how we set up our keyframes. I'm going to be animating in a social media doc type. We'll work across a series of pages. This is our starting frame. We want to keep this as it is. We head to our next page to set up our first keyframe. Place the cursor graphic over one of the images so it looks like it's hovering. Done! Now we select the design and copy and paste it onto the next page. Duplicating the page also works. So that's the process. Set up the keyframe, copy, paste, next page. Now select both the image and the cursor graphic together and move them into the crate. Nice! That's our second keyframe done. So again, let's copy and paste all our assets to the next slide. We keep going like this. Move the cursor over the next image, drag both into the crate, and copy and paste. To finish setting up our animation, all we do is repeat this until all 4 images are in the crate. Let's go! Okay, now we've set up all our keyframes, here's the fun part, the animation. Let's match and move. Select all the page thumbnails. Now, hover between any 2 frames and select Add Transition. Then select Match and Move. Now let's watch our animation. We can do that by tapping Preview here. That's looking really good, right? And just like that, we've made a whole animation with just one tool. Now, let's take the same process and raise the stakes a little to create a rolling carousel animation. We're using the same technique, but this time we're adding scale. As each image cycles through to the center, it gets a second in the spotlight. We start by selecting all the assets and copying them onto the next page. We've got a red image, a green image, and a yellow image. We drop each one into the layout so it matches the rectangle of the same color. For the center image, we resize it to align with position 2. Hold Option and Shift and use the corner handles to keep the proportions right. Like this. Then, select the assets and copy and paste them onto the next page. Now, it's the same step again. Match the images to the rectangles and resize if you need. See the pattern? We're cycling the images clockwise until they come back to their original spot. With any animation, once you get your head around the full movement, you can get into a bit of a flow state, just stepping out each move, one frame at a time. Okay, carousel keyframes are done. Now let's add a closing movement to wrap it up. Copy the 3 images and place them onto the next page. Select the 3 images, hold Option and Shift, and use the corner handles to make them smaller. With the images still selected, adjust the transparency to 0. Then move the look and book text so they sit closer together, like this. Great. Now we match a move. Select all the page thumbnails. Hover between the pages and select Add Transition. Then select Match and Move. Next, you can adjust the transition speed to your liking. I'm going for this. Let's take a look at our animation. And there it is, an animation that cycles through movement and plays with scale. 2 styles down, still just using one move. Now you're all over Match and Move. Let's take our skills somewhere new. We're going to make a hide and reveal animation. These are great for things like teasers or event promos on social. Let's make one for a music festival. We'll be using the exact same process of setting up keyframes and applying Match and Move. But this time, we'll be jumping into Canva's video editor. Let's take a sec to get a feel for what's on the timeline. The first hide and reveal movement is already done. We're going to recreate it. Here are all the different layers. We've got our text, our audio, our graphics. We've also got group layers, which keeps things tidy. If you want to see what's inside a group layer, just hover over it and select the arrow icon to expand. The reason we have so many layers here is because there's a lot of movement happening, but it's all just match and move. Promise. Okay, to start, we'll grab our starting frame. Select the group layers and press Command D to duplicate it. Adjust it so the new layer sits right on top of the other. See? Now we'll move the new layer down so the head comes back together again in the animation. Quick tip, when you're moving objects, you can hold Shift to keep the alignment, like this. To create your next keyframe in the video editor, all you need to do is move your elements from one frame to the next. I'll make the layer shorter in the timeline. Then I'll move the layer from frame 5 to 6. And now I'll adjust the layer so it extends the full length of the frame, just to make sure there are no gaps in our animation. And now let's match and move. Zoom into the timeline, Hover over the area between the frames and select Add Transition. Then Match and Move. Take the playhead to just before the transition and hit play. And there it is. We've created an animation in the timeline. When you're happy with your creation, just head to the Share button and select Download. And that's it. 3 different animations, 3 different styles, 1 repeatable process. So next time you need a design to grab more attention, build anticipation, or turn something into a moment, you know the right moves. Picture the sequence, plot the keyframes, and let Match and Move handle the rest. Now, it's time for you to get things in motion. We'll see you out there. Thanks for joining.